Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome to my channel. I appreciate each and every one of you. Sincerely, I do. I'm so happy that you're here. I'm getting this video out later than I really wanted to, and I apologize for that. I've just got a lot going on in my personal life. I mean, it's just life. So nothing to be concerned about. It's just life. I really should have labeled these week 1, week 2, and so forth. Because really, you should spend some time on each one of these. I want to address a question that I received before I actually get into this video. Not so much a question as it was a comment that I received over on the Facebook narcissistic abuse recovery page. And it was by a man who left his abusive wife and I was talking about going no contact and limiting the avenues by which you should give a narcissist contact if you have children. Because, and I recognize this, it is definitely harder to go completely no contact, if not impossible, with your narcissist or ex-narcissist if you have children together. And it certainly is. And this is what I recommend for those of you that have children with a narcissist or ex-narcissist. I apologize too if you catch me clearing my throat. I'm trying to pause when that happens. My sinuses are just going crazy this week. So if you must have some form of communication with your ex-narcissist in order to, discuss the children, my advice is to give them one avenue, whether that be an email, and I've talked about this before. Give them one place, one way to contact you, and only about the children. It can be an email that you create specifically for that purpose, which is what I personally recommend, and it easily helps you keep a record of everything said. They're not allowed to talk to you about anything else in your life except the child or children. And don't give that email out for anything else, anyone else. You can get a separate phone, just like a prepaid phone, a separate number, and give the narcissist that number so that they can reach you on that line by text or what have you, should they need to discuss the child. And if they begin to discuss anything other than the children, then you end the conversation. And this is what the commenters actually said that he did. He set up an email to communicate with his ex-narcissist, his ex-wife, about their child. So I just wanted to address that first thing in this video. The next thing I want to talk about is and I'm actually going to relabel these as week 1, week 2, week 3, rather than day 1, day 2, because I really want you to spend, really should spend some time on each one of these. So the next step to your 40 weeks of freedom from the narcissist. Let me be very clear. When you're through with all of these 40 weeks that I'm giving you, you should feel a lot better. You may still be dealing with issues. It's 6 years later for me, and I still have triggers and see PTSD and things that will come. For the most part, um, I'd say I'm 90% healed, because I've worked very hard to move forward with my life, focusing on me. Every now and then there is something that will trigger me. So I'm not saying that at the end of this 40 weeks to freedom from your narcissist, it's that you're going to be completely over them or completely healed, but you're going to be well on your way. And I would say at least by halfway through, you're already going to be feeling the fog lift. If you're freshly out of that relationship, and you're gonna, if it's been some years for you, you're gonna of course be a little further along than those who are just beginning. Now, to get to the next thing that I very highly recommend you do, and this can be difficult, but it's a very important step. Now, during your relationship, you probably received gifts from them. These things were not given to you out of the kindness of their heart. They were given to you out of malice. These are things that they wanted you to have that would be left behind once they discarded you, because they wanted to keep a foot in the door. They also want you to hurt, to think about them, because just knowing that there are items in your home that they've given you, that you will see these items, gives them a sick sense of narcissistic supply to know that you will, without trying, think about them and your time with them. Let me tell you what happened when mine left. He left, he was going through, grabbing clothes, grabbing this, grabbing that. And he grabbed one of his blankets off of my bed, but he left the others. He left the pillowcases on my pillows, which were his military t-shirts. These things he could have taken with him easily and should have, but he purposefully left these items behind. And there were many other things that he left behind. He consciously left these items behind. Now, I did have the forethought when on this next thing, because he wanted to continue to come back to my home to cut grass for me and what have you. Thank God I had the sense of mind at the time to say, no, you're walking out on me. Why would I want you to come back? He was trying to keep a foot in the door. And he even grabbed my laundry and put it in his car and says, I'm going to take this with me and do it, and I'll bring it back. And I said, no, and I grabbed my clothes back out of his car. So even then, I had the common sense to know that, this man is walking out on you. You need to shut the door on this. So, thank God. I still did not know what a narcissist was, but I knew what kind of man he was. Now, it took me, I think, about a month, maybe, before I actually started throwing things away. I first started out by packing them up. I boxed everything up that was his or anything that he gave me, pictures, anything that I had that was a memory of him or our time together. And I put them in a box. I'm sorry, we are getting a severe storm. That's what that was, that gong from my Alexa. Um, and I put it in a closet. That way it was out of sight, but it was still, around. It took a little more time. And then one day I took it and threw it in the trash. And I slowly got back to watching the programs I wanted to watch, doing the things I wanted to do. But that's for another video. I had to concentrate on building my life back up, and I could not do that as long as I was still kind of being controlled by him, mentally speaking, emotionally speaking, by his belongings being in my home, on my bed, in my surroundings. I needed to take back my space. I didn't want to be reminded of the abuse, especially when I learned that he was narcissistic, when I learned all about what that was. I realized our time together wasn't even real. You know what I mean? So it was a big fake fairy tale. And I needed to take my space back. I changed the bed sheets and everything on the covers. On my bed, I changed everything up, all of it. And believe it or not, it's only been within this last year. Now it's been 6 years for me. It's only been within this last year that I was able to get a new bed. A bed that no one has slept in but me. No one has even been in this bed but me. And I intend to keep it that way. Never again will I let somebody soil or taint my space. And it's a good feeling. I got to tell you, it's a good feeling. Every time I get into my bed, it's a good feeling, you know? So if you're, if, to help yourself, to heal that much faster. And it's going to probably hurt at first. It's going to be hard. I'm not telling you this is going to be easy or to do it willy-nilly. But I am telling you that you need to get rid of anything that the narcissist gave you. Anything that holds a memory, no matter what it is. And I think this is something that my stepdad knew even back before I married my husband, before we were married, we were actually living with them because my mom had surgery. She had an aneurysm clipped or something. And I was staying with them to help out with my mom. Me and my then fiance were staying with them. One day he left, and that's a whole other story. He walked out the door. He kisses me that morning before work, tells me he loves me, smiling, takes my car to work, and returns it totally on empty after he left. And I had to call his work to get my car back. Anyway, that's a whole other thing. My stepdad, I think he knew what I didn't know then was that we need to get rid of everything of his. He came downstairs and was throwing all of his stuff in trash bags and putting it out on the curb. And anything that he had given me went out on the curb. So he knew something then that I would take me years before I found out. So it is, and I'm not saying that it doesn't hurt, because your brain is still wanting that oxytocin. Your brain is still wanting that high from them, and it does hurt at first. You know, but it's important. It's an important step. Please just trust me when I tell you this. Get rid of anything they gave you, anything that has a memory associated with them. Do it in your way. Do it in your time. If it's one thing at a time, work on that. Even if you have to do what I did at first, box it up. You know, if you need a new, like I said, it's been 6 years for me, and I just got a new bed this past year. So it may take you time if you need to replace larger items. It may take you some time. But just work on what you can work on. This is a major step towards your healing process. I promise you. God bless. We'll talk again soon. Please share these videos with someone that you think could benefit from it. And if you're not a subscriber, I hope that you will subscribe. This is an eclectic channel, but it is overall, I share my narcissistic abuse experiences with you in hopes of trying to help others kind of miss those pitfalls or help you out of those places that I got myself into. And to help others heal as best I can. God bless. And I'll talk to you again soon. Bye, guys.